Hey, everybody out there in Facebook land. Hey, it's Liz Larson with Transform One Idea, where we're always exploring the idea that the smallest shifts often create the biggest changes. So what does that really mean? I'm always looking for ways that we can create a simple shift in perspective that literally changes everything. A long time ago, it's still called a paradigm shift, but it was really popular back in the mid-90s, a paradigm shift. Kind of cracked me up because a lot of people didn't know how to say it. They'd say paradigm shift. Anyway, what it really means is a shift in perspective. And so this Saturday, we have a class coming up that will shift your perspective on energy blockages and sales. So most people don't realize that their own energy, the way that they are perceived by the person that they're speaking with, selling to, engaging with, can create an openness or a real closed offness, and can create more or really diminish. So today I want to talk about a really fun subject, and it's whether or not your face says you're open to receiving. Well, what does that mean? Like, how can your face be open to receiving? Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Clearly, when you're selling, you are going to be receiving from your client. And you're also going to be in a position of giving to them and allowing them to receive. So we want to make sure that in that way, we're creating the most possibilities for them, for their client, and for us as well. So when we're talking about, is your face basically open for business? Is your face open to receiving? What we mean is does it appear that way to your client? So I know this may seem really weird, but I want to share with you this really poignant little story. It was very poignant to me. I was in Home Depot, Lowe's, actually in Medford. And I saw this man. It was a big old giant guy who was obviously working there. And I noticed that a small woman was walking towards him who also was working there. And I noticed this beautiful micro communication. I noticed this big old guy cock his head slightly and have the most open expression on his face. In that instant, I could see that he was open and available to receiving her. She needed something. She was going to ask him a question or for help or something. I don't know, because I really didn't hear the conversation. What I saw was this interaction of him being very, very open to what she was about to ask. And I realized that is a clear expression of open to receiving. And it's the expression that we want when we're talking to our clients. And I realized that there was so much in that expression that I could see as just an onlooker. I became aware that whatever she was going to ask him, he would hear fully. You could see by his posture, by his face, that whatever she was going to say, he could actually receive it and hear her fully. Imagine how that person must have felt, knowing that whatever she was about to ask, he would have, an answer, or at least have understood exactly what she wanted and been able to answer in an educated way. That's what we want for our clients. Now, what would prevent us from doing that? Well, nerves, resistance. About 1 million things would make us have an expression on our face other than fully open to receiving what our clients' needs are. The biggest thing that would make us not have that expression is believing we know what their needs are without having asked. This is a big energetic piece when we're working in sales, is have we heard our clients' needs fully? If not, we're not really there for them. We're not really hearing what they need, and therefore we're not going to serve them fully. And we may not actually have them as a client for long because we may have assumed what they needed. We may have assumed what they wanted. So this openness in our facial expression and in our posture allows them to feel comfortable to tell us what they really need. So let's talk about that for just a second. Let's imagine for a moment that you are going to be selling a product of cosmetics. So a lot of you guys are out there in multi-level marketing where you're selling cosmetics. You may be in people's homes, you may be in people's offices, they may come to yours. If you assume that you know why they need that cosmetic, but don't ask, you may be missing the point entirely. If your face says, I can see you're a little pale, you got a little dark circles, let me take care of that for you. When what they're really there for is maybe their skin needs moisturizer, maybe they're going through a health crisis where they need a little extra support in that area. If you're really open in your posture, in your expression, your energy is going to be open to them and they're going to share with you what they need so that you can offer them really what they need and what creates more in their lives. See, that's the thing about sales that so many of us miss, especially in this energetic piece, is we want to hurry up and sell them what we have or what we think they need, and we don't really consider what creates expansion and more in their lives. So those are people that we're really, really helping when we ask that question, what creates expansion and what creates more for them? So how do we get this facial expression? How do we clear our energy before we see a client and be in a space of really receiving them in our expression and in our posture? It's really one of those things of being mindful. Before we see a client, we clear our energy out. Whatever's happening at home, whatever the grocery list is, whatever money we need to get in the bank that month for our sales quotas, those need to go out the door when we're in communication with our client. Now, don't think for a second that you're not in full communication the minute you're on the phone with them, the minute you say hello, the minute they see you, you are. If your face is open and expressive and concerned about what's happening in their lives, they will know that, and they'll know that you're open to receiving them instantly. Even if they don't buy from you today, you are going to make an impression of that person cares about me, and therefore I really want them on my team. So, energetically, what do? We clear it out. There's a million clearing methods, and I'm going to share with you probably 5, 6, maybe even 10 on Saturday in our 3-hour class about clearing energy blocks around sales success. So when you think about sales, you think about lots of other things, but not your facial expression, not the openness that happens when you put a smile, an open expression, and an open posture. You just can't help it. You cannot help but be open. And if you are, your client is going to feel that. Let's talk about just a couple of other little things that might get that expression on your face to be other than open and willing to receive. Are you actually really there to help? Or are you actually there to push something on your client? If that's the energy, it's an energy of this. It's forward. People feel it. Whether you use the words energy or not, you know when someone's coming at you. That's a big thing we're going to talk about on Saturday. Do you approach your clients in a pushing? Do you approach your client with a pull? Or are you in neutrality and open? Are you judging your client? So in every realm of sales, if you are judging why your client needs your services, you're judging. You're not just in an energetic space of open, receiving curiosity. So what if you think you're a little better than your client? You ever have that one? What if you feel like you know more? What if you feel like you have more? What if you feel like you do more? If you're in any other energetic space than open to receiving, you will be in a space where your client feels whatever it is other than receiving. So you have to take all these things into consideration. And before engaging with your client, you clear your energy. So it's just like I said before, I experienced a total micro communication between this big, beautiful man in the store and this little tiny woman who worked there. And in that moment, I knew that he was going to serve her in a way that she needed served. And I realized how important that is for us as coaches, as teachers. And like I said, in our last conversation together, if you are in sales, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a leader. If you happen to be a teacher, a coach, or a person who does Reiki, or a person who offers any service, you're still a teacher, you're still a leader. Your clients look to you to receive them in a way that they can feel comfortable to share with you their real needs. And then you're in a position to really offer that service and support to them. So before you go into your next client meeting, sales meeting, and let me tell you, even if you're on your phone, your client can feel your openness towards them. Put yourself in an energetic space of open to receiving. Are you willing in this moment to create expansion and more for your client? If so, they're going to feel it, and they're going to want more of you. And you're what's important in the sales process. How you approach them, how you feel about them, and then a million other things. How you feel about your products. What kind of a resource are you willing to be for your client? What kind of a resource is your client for you? That's really important in sales too. What are you willing to give and what are you willing to receive? Sales is receiving and giving. A big part of it is giving. So give them just this one thing to start. Your beautiful open expression and posture. And be sure that your face is open to receiving. So if you want some more of these tips and some real clearing on the steps of your sales process, including this one, join us on Saturday. It is March the 2nd. It'll be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to do 3 hours of clearing all the way through the sales process, along with some of these things that you really may have never thought are really a part of your sales process, but absolutely are. And so the class is $150. It's an investment in your sales education, which is very important. And if it feels light to you, if it feels like it will create more in your future, then it's for you. And one way to do that is to go to the sales page, our sales page on transformoneidea.com, and look at it. If it feels light to you, great. If you ask the question to yourself, will this create more for me a year from now? Will it create more for me 5 years from now? If if the answer is yes to your physical body, then this class is absolutely for you. If you want to create more in your own future for your sales and your business, if you're looking to grow and expand, then some of these things that we're going to cover are going to be essential to you and will actually make your life so much easier and so much nicer. Approaching a client with a loving, open heart and face really does make everyone's experience so much better. So I want to say hi to Carmela. I can see she's out there, and thank you. This is one of my favorite scarves as well. So we'll talk to you guys all again soon. We'll see you on Saturday for sure. But between now and then, we'll see you again as well. Between now and then, practice that facial expression. Get ready before you interact with your client and see if you can have an open expression on your face, an open expression on your body, and make sure you're doing this even if you're on the phone. That energy is felt. So we'll talk to you guys all again soon. Much love. Ciao. Bye.